Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If starter deck content is what you like, then starter deck content is what you get. That is right. Yet another starter deck tournament with boosted prize funds. Unlike the last tournament, there is no flexibility in this tournament. There is a pre-constructed deck created by starter deck tournament Discord mod Deca that you must play. It's a deception list. You must play the list, your opponent must play the exact list, and it is back to the starter deck mirror format. So no more creating our own decks this tournament. Best 2 out of 3, and let's just go ahead, get the show on the road. There were about 400 and something people in this event, very well attended. I was very lucky to get a first round bye. A majority of the people did not. But, you know, I know the right people to bribe, apparently, and we start this tournament in the round of 256. Welcome to the starter deck tournament presented by Deca, round of 256. This is a starter deck tournament in which you have to play with this certain deck list. No editing allowed. So we have to play this deception list, and we're going first. I think that's pretty good. This list looked pretty bad when I just looked at it. A lot of cringe, not so good cards in the list. So I think quality of draw will be very important here. We've got this, which we can play on one. Very intriguing. I might should have kept the double bedeviled shadow, to be honest, just to have something to play. So I'm going to conserve my pip. You could argue pipping out the glider assailant T1, but I think conserving our pip gives us more options later. Unfortunately, Stack the Deck is the worst card in the deck, so getting that in our opening hand is atrocious. It's just such a horrendous card. Nothing like a 1-1 Ronald and Sparrow. Of course, we draw one as well, but we didn't have ours on 1, which was a bit unfortunate. We can't attack, gain favor with it. They can hit here and trade, and effectively trade this for this, which is an upgrade in quality for them. Slightly a slow start for us, but this kind of gives up the tempo that they would have gained from that. So, is what it is. Alright, I'm going to play Barb Portcolios, and then I'm going to attack into the Ronald and Sparrow. I am aware that they can use the GP to peel this off, but if they do that, they can't attack and GP here. So this is a classic situation of giving them 2 spots where they want to use their GP. Now this is just kind of sitting there. It's very awkward mana-wise that turn for them to kill that as well. We effectively traded a 2 mana card for 3 mana of value out of the Ronald and Sparrow, the 1 mana to play the Sparrow, and the 2 mana for the God Power. So what I like doing here is I like pipping out the Ronald and Whisper thingy majiggy. The reason being is I think I'm very likely to get one attack into the face. That well, they can cheat here and then trade here for here, but if they go out of their way to do that line, I think we're very happy. And this, if this can get one attack into the god, it replaces itself, so that's pretty good, I would assume. Okay, they're going to get the poison dagger, so they can trade the dagger for here, trade this for this, and ultimately come out of that A-okay from their perspective. Ah, they've got the Axewoman for this, even better for them. Even better for them. And now this goes to the face. They are ahead in the favor race for now. I mean, we can dagger to peel here. Probably not going to have a better play until we top deck one. Okay, the APEP is a better line. Definitely. So APEP, now what they can do is they can use the GP and trade this for this. No way we can really prevent that. Stack the Deck is just such a horrendous card. If I play it, it probably benefits them more than it benefits me, but I might not have a better option next turn. The other option is Dagger Sparrow. Sparrow this late in the game is just a pretty atrocious card. At the end of the day, it is quite bad. Now, no cards in this deck cost more than 7 mana. There's only one Achillean's Dedicant, which does cost 7 mana. It's a 7 mana 5/4 with Blitz Protected and Ward, I believe is the stat line. Got a lot of tags there. So that might be one thought. They can't really purchase from the Sanctum. This will make trade here, which is successful for them. I'm probably daggering here in Sparrow and then face with this, I would imagine. This is deadly, so that's going to be mildly annoying for our opponent. They will probably want to remove it. And they're going to pip out. Orpheo's Distraction to keep this hidden interesting. Use of a pip there, but is pretty effective and might change what we do here. So yeah, I'm just going to go face, and I'm going to stack the deck. I hate using this card because it's just so horrendous, but we just don't have anything productive we can do. We just have a really bad hand. So they use their God Power here to force this trade, which they will be successful at achieving. And we can play Dagger to remove this. We have 6 cards in hand. They have 7 cards in hand. So they will probably be doing some useful things. So if this card's able to attack my face, they get to copy a card from the top of my deck. And we don't want them to do that. So we might just peel it with the poison to Dagger. Seems like the thing to do. Okay, so we've got 2 lines here. We can play the Apep and a Ronald and Sparrow, but then they cheat and then this goes face and it's kind of awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill it this way, and we're going to play 2 Ronald and Sparrows. The idea here is that next turn, first off, these are going to be used as kind of favor farms. And next turn, we're going to be able to play Apep, and when Apep dies, these become deadly. So we can get some potentially more value out of that. Now, granted, they can definitely GP onto Apep and get value out of that. And so much for my favor farm, they've got Apep as well. So we're going to have like an Apep standoff. The problem here is when I play Apep, what they can do is they can GP, and then that's just going to be very problematic. So we're in a very bad situation here. Very bad situation because they've got the GP option. So do I play Double Dealer and Dig? I think I play Double Dealer and Dig because Apep just gets met with them just GPing, and that's just not good. So we remove 2 cards from their hand and we draw 2 ourselves, weakening their hand somewhat, but our board is just going to get absolutely torn apart here. This hits here, this hits here, this hits here. We have nothing on board. They expand upon their board. And now the question is can we come back despite being down all this tempo? And the answer to that is I honestly do not know. I honestly do not know the answer to that question. We're definitely behind the Magic 8 Ball bit. And again, it all comes down to wasting a turn on Stack the Deck. We just didn't have a good line that turn. And that made pretty much all the difference in this game. And that's where we currently stand. So if they're smart, they just peel these. Yeah, not a difficult decision to find here. They've got a very wide board. There's no AoEs. There's no way to punish this here. So we're basically not looking very likely to win this game. There's not many paths to victory here, let's just put it that way. Ransom's pretty much just a horrendous card. Flat out, it's just a bad card. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play the Poison Peddler, the Barricade, and the Makeshift Shiv. The idea is we can trade this into this. Then we're doing okay. But realistically, this into this, like this into this, and this doesn't get any value at the moment. Is kind of pathetic. There's lines where we ransom this potentially, but that just buys us 1 turn. It doesn't really get us anywhere anytime soon. So we're really just in a very bad position here. It's just a lot of times when you're playing these starter decks, it matters less about who goes first, because we did go first this game. But when you draw cards like Stack the Deck, you draw double Ronald and Sparrows like past turn 5. It's just really difficult to come back and win this. Just really getting bad cards at bad times, and they're just gonna go face. Yeah, I mean, do we do a Double Dealer again just out of desperation? But I don't know. It's just not looking good. So we're going to need to win games 2 and 3. Otherwise, we will be eliminated in the first round of this tournament. This is just a really bad deck. I think this is unique because out of all the starter deck tournaments, this has been the worst constructed list. Like this list is just absolutely horrendous. And because of how bad the list is, then if you don't draw your cards in the correct order, there's just so many bricks. And if you draw those bricks, you just lose. Like it is just flat out you just lose. And that's what happened this game. There was just never a chance for us to even fight. And that's always frustrating as a player when you sit down in a game and you just look at it and it's just like, wow, I can't even compete. And that's exactly what happened here. I mean, they can just push face by the Lambasting Wand, and I don't even think I have any outs if they do that line. It's very simple. A very simple line here. I just played these two just to get two things on the board, but realistically, there's no method of comeback here. There's just losing, and I think that is what's going to be happening here. They can cheat and face, grab the Lambastic Wand, and then I think I just lose. Ransom, that works too. They have multiple ways to kind of destroy us here, and they're going to continue to get value out of this. The Lambasting Wand, as I was suspecting for sure. And they got one of those. So, I mean, all we can really do is this line. It's kind of cringe because it's really bad, but at the end of the day, that is pretty much all you can do. So we'll go ahead. Like that, I think I want to peel this just because you could argue of just going this and going face, but it's just really bad. So we ransomed the APEP for a little bit of tempo, but this, I mean, we're at 7 at the end of the day, and they've got Lambasting Wand, which represents 6 points of damage. We can buy the Rune of Life, so just attacking face and the Lambasting Wand and sitting doesn't necessarily get them there. But, like, the prospect that we're going to be able to stop them from pushing any points of damage after that is quite a bit pessimistic, I would have to say. We're pessimistic from their point of view. Yeah, there's just nothing here. So I grabbed that just for something in the Sanctum here. We'll just peel this. And, oh, that's just lethal. But, I mean, yeah, I guess we had to trade there. No, wait, no, it's lethal anyways. It's lethal every way there. Yeah, it's lethal every way there. So we're going to lose game 1. Very uninteresting game. And we just really had... really had a bad draw. Oh, I need to stop recording. So game number 1 did not go our way. Hopefully we'll draw a little bit better this game. Stack the Deck is just such a horrendous card. Like, that's just such a horrendous card. It's like literally a net negative because your opponent gets their 3 cards that they can play before you can even play them. So it's usually a card that if you play it, you just automatically lose. Okay, we've got a Glider Assailant here. We want to get our mulligan down a little bit smoother on the curve. We're going second to this game. So we'll see if going second helps this time around. Honestly, I thought about picking Thievery because, like, this deck is just so bad. Like, legitimately is so bad. It was very tempting to take the Thievery. So our opponent passes on 1, and these World Whisperer things, they draw cards when they go face. So let's just go ahead and get 1 out on the board. Try to get the card draw generation going. They have a 1-mana answer, so much for that. Just when you think you're accomplishing something, you turn out you're not accomplishing anything. We're going to try it again, and then see if they've got another 1-mana answer to it. Probably do. It's a 2-mana 2/2. It's just such a bad card. which goes consistent with the theme of the deck, just running bad cards. And they trade 1-for-1 with it again. So we did draw a Pip and a 4-mana card. I feel like we accomplished something there. I almost feel like we're winning because of that. if we're able to trade this for a dagger, that's an accomplishment. That is just flat out an accomplishment. All right, they've got this, which is a decent card. Our hand is horrendous now. Our hand is absolutely horrendous. This and this early in the game is bad. We just gotta hope that their hand is just as bad. And this deck is pretty bad, so their hand could easily be as bad as our hand. That is the only positive about this, is that their hand could just be just as bad. We're hoping that maybe having these on the board early can get us the favor necessary to gain there. They have a useful card. How dare they? So that makes trade. We pretty much need to spike T here, just because we have nothing better to do. So by process of elimination, we use spiked T. We can go face with these two. Unfortunately, we are one favor short of buying anything useful this turn. Next turn, we can consider stuff like Vow of Champions, maybe the Shield Maiden. We've got the Achillean Dedicant here in hand. Again, still have a bad hand. Gotta hope to really top deck stuff. So this card is very annoying, and they're gonna hide it, so it's gonna be even more annoying. So I think we definitely want to buy the Shield Maiden as the top card in the Sanctum. I think that definitely is the best option, and we're going to conserve our Pip for now. Flood the board here a little bit. So they've got two options. They can use their GP to go face with this, which will get a card off the top of our deck, or they can just trade here. That's their primary stuff they can do. GPing here doesn't feel that useful. They do get one card off the top of our list, but this can quickly trade off here. Okay, they're going to ransom a 2-cost card. Again, I feel like we're doing okay there. And probably should have settled the Ronald Sparrow before playing this. Settle what your confused creatures do. Interesting, they just make trade. They don't get the free card. I don't understand that line from their point of view. We draw the Makeshift Shift. Great top deck because we can go ahead and peel this minion. This enters the board here. I'm just going to trade these. There's no reason to give them a free card. And go face. We've got the advantage on the board. We've got the advantage in the favor raise for the next card in the Sanctum. We've got not a great hand, but the Achillean's Dedicant can come on board next turn, which is probably very effective. They use their ransom in a situation where they could not achieve value either. I'm going to go ahead and use Orpheus Distraction here. Makes sense. Okay, APEP. APEP's quite reasonable here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go face with both of these. And we're going to buy Tartessian Improviser. And our logic here is we have two targets for their God Power. First off, it's probably not an effective mana play for them to even use this turn. Like, if you want to use it here, you want to use it here, you want to use it here. This is probably hitting here, but then our Shiv or GP can easily peel this off. We're situated very nicely right now. They're probably holding Stack the Deck, which, honestly, Stack the Deck might be the worst card in Gods Unchained. I mean, I know there's a very niche deck that runs the card that is pretty effective, right? The card draw, the overdraw deception variants run it, but it's just a horrendous card outside of that. And we take game number 2. Game number 3 will be necessary. Game number 1, we went first and found a way to lose. Game number 2, our opponent went first, found a way to lose. What we've learned so far is that this is arguably the worst of the welcome decks that we've had to play. And game number 3, we're going first, so we're hoping to find the first turn win of this match. We haven't had one yet. We do like to see the Axewoman. The World Whisperer is intriguing for sure here. I think this is a full keep. I'm going to get greedy here, I think, on 1 and go for this. Yeah, we're just going for it here. YOLO. Hoping they don't have Axewoman, which might be ambitious. Yeah. I mean, was it really bad going for it, though? I guess it looks bad now. So the Shiv eats that. Alright, I'll keep back the Axewoman. If I play it now, they can actually get potentially value, depending on what they're holding, by attacking and GPing. So we'll keep the Axewoman back. There's going to be a situation for it. There's always a situation for it. Alright, so this peels here. Now one option we have next turn is after they go face with this, Axewoman here, here, here. Uncanny Rogue here, face is a line. Playing this for tempo is certainly something to consider. This. Not likely to get much from the Sanctum here. Double Dealer is an intriguing card. We burned our pip very early. We went for the YOLO on 1, and ultimately it didn't work out. Wow. Not attacking at all? Like, honestly, that's puzzling. So this line looks weird, admittedly. Especially since we're floating too, but... I mean, what else are we doing here? Because playing this and just letting trade happen just didn't make much sense. Didn't make much sense at all. Okay, APEP. See, he plays APEP and then trades. It makes no sense. So, Axewoman plus Uncanny Rogue. I think I did a very good job of holding off on the Axewoman here. Very good job of patient gameplay from my end. I'm going to go ahead and go face with this. We're going to accumulate 3 favor points. We've got another relic in hand, so we're kind of clearing out some value out of this. Potentially want the Form of Power from the Sanctum. Tartusian Improviser has some case uses as well, and so does the Rune of Sight. Our deck is so bad that drawing a card from our deck is probably not a good thing. If I could I Rune of Sight into a different deck? That would be nice. That would be nice indeed. Very likely to play Double Dealer next turn. They've got 3 cards in hand. If we could just nuke their hand, I think that we're really accomplishing a lot here. So the Double Dealer, especially because they could be holding a Double Dealer. Like, we get the Double Dealer off first and wreck their Double Dealer. Ooh, that is key. That's the situation where going first, like, really feels like you're flexing on your opponent. Even though we did burn the pip early, they've burned all 3 of theirs. I think next turn Double Dealer is really going to be asking the question to our opponent. Yeah. So they have 2 cards in hand, and we're just going to take them both. So they lose both of their cards, and we get 2 more. And they will get some card advantage. We'll just go face with this. And let's go ahead and grab the Form. It's just the best card on the Sanctum. It's just the best card on the Sanctum. So, like, they can go face with this and copy the top card of our list, and then we know what the top card, we know what we draw, right? So we know if we want to play Double Dealer to take it out of their hand or not. Or it could have been this card that they just got, so it could have been that. Okay, so they drew Ronald and Sparrow, which is not worth Double Dealer for. It's not a very good card. So we're just going to go ahead, remove their good minion, and remove their other minion here. These go face. We are officially threatening lethal next turn. They see no impending way to do it, and we advance to the round of 128.